Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and today's video is a little bit of a project update slash planning ahead. So the first thing I'll show you is I finished my Easy Goes It, I really should have cut this, my Easy Goes It shawl. It's completely finished. And the thing that was interesting that I learned with this shawl, see if I can find it, is because this shawl ends with a lace pattern. Do you see that right there? It has what's called a stretchy bind off. You can also look up, I know you can look up the term in YouTube and find a tutorial on how to do the stretchy bind off. And then you could also look up knit two together bind off, because that is what you're doing. Essentially, you knit one, well, you have your original, you know, your loop on there. You knit one, you knit two. You have two on there, and you knit the two together on your hook, and then you knit another one, have two on, you knit one together. And that gives it this stretchy look. And according to the advice in the pattern, it's nicer to have a stretchy bind off when you have lace on that side. So now all I have to do is block it. Now I'm going to be honest, I typically do not block acrylic things. I had read somewhere that blocking is for natural fibers, so cottons and wools, alpaca, things like that. And that acrylic doesn't have the same memory, because acrylic is essentially plastic. Acrylic doesn't have the same memory that natural fibers do, being that they're animal hairs or plants. However, I have seen a lot of people talk about blocking acrylic, or more specifically, I don't know if you've seen like those little granny square blankets, and then they put them on these little pegs and they block them. So I guess what I've come to decide on the issue of blocking is I for sure will always block wools, cottons, and acrylics. But I will just wait and see how my project lays after, or drapes after working with an acrylic yarn, and if it looks like it's curling or folding or not laying straight as I would like, then I would block it. Basically what I know about blocking, which is very minimal, is that you wet your fabric, you lay it out and shape it in the desired shape that you want, and you give it a bit of a stretch, and then you pin it so that it stays in that shape. You can buy these really awesome foam blocking squares from Joann's. You can buy the foam squares from the dollar store in the kids section too, because it's the same kind of foam. Typically what I do is I pull back my mattress cover on my king size bed, and I lay a flat cotton, you know, a regular towel down, and I pin it to that, and you let it air dry, and that is enough. I do believe though that anytime you wash something again after you've blocked it, you're going to need to lay it flat and dry if it's, you know, of a wool or whatnot, so that it remembers to go back into that shape. So this is the finished product. I think it could be worn like this, a nice little neck scarf. I really do like these colors. So this is another knitting project that I have finished, well, mostly, because of course I have to weave in my ends. I don't know how many of you wait to do that until the last minute. And I have this portion left, so I can do something else with that, maybe make a sock someday. So I got to weave in my ends, I've got to block it, and that is done. The next thing that I am still, it's still my whip, my work in progress, is this knitted, as you can see, I'll hold it this way, it's going quite along, and you know what I'm really happy about, folks, is as I have been working, the part that's off the needle over here has been stretching out. Of course, I will block this because this is a cotton blend, and I will stretch it out so it will turn into like a wrap or a shawl. It is much wider. I think when I'm knitting it and it's up here on the needles, it looks so narrow, and I was like, ugh, I'm not really happy with how it's looking. But down here it's getting wider and nicer. So I'm in my next set of green, and I'm about to get into my favorite, this blue color. I just love that blue. And then to the black. So, I mean, it's going to be a while yet before I'm ready to post a giveaway for this. But I've been working diligently on it. I hope to have it done before I have this next project I wanted to talk to you about. I feel like I just saw this in a random Facebook group. I'm in a couple Facebook groups that are called The Crochet Addicted or The Addiction to Crochet. And I saw this gorgeous shawl. It's made with the mandala cakes. This is what I'm going to use for it. You need 3 skeins or 3 cakes. You can also use the Lion Brand cupcakes because they're the same yardage. If you want to use your own yarn, now remember these cakes are a little skinnier, so they're 3s, or so if you have your own DK weight yarn, you could use that. But it takes 3 skeins of 590 yards. So it essentially is 3 triangles that you crochet the same pattern 3 times, and then you sew them together right here. So it creates a nice, really big, comfy wrap. I'm so excited to make this. I have a friend in town who also loved it, and she asked me to make it for her. So I'm going to make it for her, and then I'm going to make it for myself. I don't know what yarn she chose, but this is the color I chose. I feel like this is called like Spirited, I think. Oh, no, Genie. So I'm going to make it for myself with Genie. It's called the Adirondack Wrap. Now, this is what I've noticed about this pattern after reading through it. And I would say I'm like a level, a mid-level pattern reader. But what I noticed about it is that it is written in shorthand that's a little bit difficult to understand. Essentially, because I also then went through and read all the comments that people made to her about it, essentially what she does when she teaches you about this pattern, I'm going to show you a little bit of a... she starts off telling you how to do, when you start a triangle shawl, that little bit that's like right here on the flat side, and then that's how it grows. Then she tells you those stitches, and then she tells you the bulk of what is going to be in the length. She tells you the pattern for that. And then she tells you the pattern for the point. And then she tells you pattern for this, and then she tells you the other pattern for the triangle corner. And so how she breaks it up is in this key that says, let's see if I can hold it for you, row F, and then that would be like the starting off point. And then in the pattern it tells you how to do, the crochets across. And then the next part, like I said, is the point. So she breaks it up kind of in a, I would say for me, it's a difficult way to break it up. Some people's brains might work that way, but for me it's difficult. So right here it says, let me see if I can find it, work row F, so that's that page off of here. Then work, the double crochets in each stitch. One row she had you skipping double crochets, another row she had you going straight through. And then she shows you again to do row M, and that's going to be the point. And then she shows you what she wants you to do from the point to the point, and then there's the other end, and that's row E. So I think personally what I'm going to do when working this pattern is I think I'm going to copy and paste it into a Word document, and then I'm going to type it out specifically. I'm going to type out what it says for row F, and then I'm going to put down the stuff that she has that you do along the side, and then type out what it says for the point. Because for me, flipping between these 2 sheets and, I don't know, also writing it out helps me remember it better. I will say her abbreviations are very clear and very typical to that of, any other pattern that you would do, for the stitches, the chains. She does add a little bit of words in there, which I always like. So for example, here it says work row F, 1 double chain, so that's when you would do the pattern off of here that's labeled row F. Then you will work 1 double chain in each of the next stitches, 8 stitches. Then you do row M. Then you work 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches, and then you do the section off here labeled E. So I'm going to rewrite it and lay it out in a way that's easier for me to understand. And you know what, folks? I suggest doing that because it just helps you learn to read patterns better. I will put a link in the description to this pattern because then also you'll be able to see the pictures. When I printed it off, none of the pictures came out. You can get her patterns from Ravelry, Etsy, and then something I'd never heard before called Craftsy. Her website blog, which she puts these patterns out for free on, is called One Dog Woof. Yeah, One Dog Woof. And then, like I said, she has links in that blog where she talks about her pattern and the inspiration for it. Then she shows you where you can go to Ravelry and pay $3, or where you can go to Etsy and pay $3, or you can use the free pattern right in that same blog. And that is what I copy and pasted and rearranged so that I would understand the pattern better. So you can purchase one or you can use the free one on that website. I thought about purchasing the pattern for $3 because that wasn't very much, and I already had a customer who wanted to purchase the shawl for me. But I didn't really want to pay $3 if I would have to then reorganize it and change it around like I'm going to have to in order for me to understand it. I would just do it from the free one she put on her website. So that is my next project that I have to do this one for the customer that's purchasing it. And then I hope to do one for myself, hopefully before fall. In addition, I'm still doing that knitting project. So while I was on One Dog Woof's site, and her name is Chi Wee or Chai Wee. I don't want to be, rude and pronounce it wrong, but I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. And then, like I said, you can find her on Craftsy, Etsy, and Ravelry, either under One Dog Woof or Chai Wee, I hope. Then I found this other shawl, which I'm really happy about. It's a knitting shawl, or a knitting pattern, and it's called the new Paths Shawl. And basically, it's garter stitch, lace, garter stitch. And it's gorgeous. It is in these really beautiful colors, which led me to be like, I'm totally going to print this off. I'm going to knit this shawl for myself because I'm going to open this up down here so you guys don't hopefully hear as much of the crackling. I should have done that before. A super dear friend of mine that is in my knitting group purchased for me this yarn. Do you see, like, it has like a wave of sparkle in it, and I think it's called Galaxy. Yes, Galaxy. And these are the exact colors that are in this new Paths shawl that One Dog Woof has. So this is Bad Wolf Girl Studios, Etsy.com. Trying to figure out where to hold it so you can see. This was on her Etsy account, and my friend purchased it for me. I actually went to Knit Group. I'm like, hey, look at this yarn. Isn't it beautiful? It's 75% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. It's 462 yards, and it's a sock yarn. So I'm going to use this because if you do, go look at this shawl, you'll see it's almost the exact same colors. Maybe in a different order, and then there's no glitter. I'll also put a link in the description to this pattern. This pattern is also free on One Dog Woof's blog or website page. But like I said before, you can go on to Etsy, Craftsy, and Ravelry, and you can pay $3 for this pattern. The abbreviations for this pattern look very simple, easy for me to understand. Knit front and back, knit 2 together, knit through the back loop, yarn over, knit 2 together through the back loop. All things I understand. And so I would like to make this someday with this beautiful yarn from Bad Wolf Girl Studio. So if you want to check out her yarns, they're gorgeous and they're on Etsy. So those are the 2 patterns that I'll put links in that I plan on making. Other than that, I feel like that is about all I have to say in this video. No, there was one more thing I was going to mention. And I hope you guys watched the end. I probably should have started off so you would hear this. There's another crochet pattern that I really wanted to try. I don't know. Do any of you guys do this? Like put lists of things that you want to do? It's a Lacy Shells top. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about it because there's another YouTuber who has been talking about it in multiple videos, which is where I got the idea, and it is so pretty. So check out Frances Siple. Frances is spelled F-R-A-N-C-E-S, and Siple, S-I-P-L-E. I'll put a link in the description. She has been making one of these tops, and she's just finished it, and I really love the wool she used. She got, I believe, a superwash wool from Knit Picks, and it's a beautiful color. And it's a really nice shawl or a shell pattern that you can wear over a tank top. So I'm not going to post about this top so that you guys can go, if you're interested, check it out. She has videos. She talks about the stitches that she's using, yarn. She's been working on it for at least 5 or 6 videos, maybe a couple months. So I will put a link in the description to her also so that you can check out that Lacy Shells top. And I will refrain from showing you the pattern because you can get it from her and showing you how it goes. Just hopefully eventually within the next 6 months I'll wear it in a video. If I can, because I've never made myself any clothing items. I just make myself hats, shawls, and scarves. And so this would be the first thing that I'm making myself. And I really think the pattern looks doable and that I'll understand. So that is that. That is all I have to share for this video. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm getting ready for that giveaway. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing my videos. Welcome to all the new folks that have been watching. I'm trying really hard to keep up with my comments so that we can have an interactive relationship, not just me chatting with you in the videos. So I'm really enjoying getting to know a few of you that are posting. So I'll catch you in another video soon. Otherwise, until then, happy crafting.